Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have a battle that has been a long time coming. Mainly because I just keep forgetting to actually get the video. I apologize, but I've had the Hipper unlocked for quite a while. So let's get down to it, shall we? First of all, Commander, we got Karl von Muller, his hardy skill. We've got Isaruku Yamamoto and Norman Scott. Then we've got Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, Fixated, and then the extra consumable Fully Packed. And he is a Legendary Cap 1. Level 11? Yep, level 11. So, with that done, let's check out the ship loadout, shall we? We've got Aiming Systems Mod 1, Propulsion Mod, Concealment Mod, and Main Battery Mod. This gives us minus 12% to the main battery reload, which is kind of nice on this cruiser. But you could also do that on the torpedoes, but I don't use the torpedoes as much. I do in this match, so you're going to see some torpedoes. It's going to be a fantastic match. Definitely my best in the Hipper so far. I've played the Hipper a few times, just this was the best match so far. Of course, we've got amazing sonar, which is one of the pluses of being in a German ship. The sonar in this is almost as good as a radar, except it's a long duration. It lasts 118 seconds, reloads every 180 seconds, and we get 3 of them because of our extra consumable. And we can detect ships out to 5.5 kilometers. It's deadly for destroyers. Catapult fighters, we get 4. You'll never use that many catapult fighters, but having them never hurts. You never know when they'll get shot down and that sort of thing. And then we get 3 heals because we're a heavy cruiser at tier 7. So yeah, that's the thing. Of course, Type 3 Halloween camo and Alpha test flag. I run a lot of camos on my cruisers because if you get hit in a cruiser, it's just a matter of time before you get deleted. Survivability, 37,300 hit points. I believe that's right there around the Baltimore. I don't remember exactly what it is, but you also get a 10% damage reduction for torpedoes. Artillery, we've got 8, 203, aka 8-inch guns. It's pretty standard for a heavy cruiser, just like the Baltimore. You got 203mm guns. Unlike the York prior to this, where it got 210mm guns. But it is a pretty good 8-inch gun. I really do enjoy these guns. They do remind me a lot of the Baltimore. They're very versatile. They can do both HE well and armor piercing well. You're going to see some disgusting shots against a hood later in this match. Anyway, reload 11.4 seconds, which is faster than my Baltimore, by the way. My Baltimore, I believe, reloads every 12 seconds, so it's got just a little edge on my Baltimore's reload time. HE shell is 2,300 maximum damage with a 13% chance to set on fire. AP is 6,195 maximum damage, so when you Citadel people, you're going to be doing 6,100 damage. It's not bad, not great, but not bad. Secondaries, it's got some. They're 105mm, not the greatest, but they do shoot HE, so when they do, they have a chance for setting fires. Almost as good a chance of setting fires as your main batteries, so there's that. I say almost, it's literally half, but, you know, who's counting? Torpedoes, you've got you've got 12. You've got 4 launchers, 2 each side, that have 3 torpedoes each. 533mm seems to be the magic number. 68-second reload, which is actually pretty good. And 13,700 damage, which isn't bad. Problem is, they're only 6 kilometers, so you're going to have to use these as ambush torpedoes, or if you're just in a sticky situation and you need to get yourself out, they can come in handy, because they are kind of quick. They're not amazingly fast, but they do catch people off guard. And you'll see some of those later in the video. Maximum speed, 33 knots, pretty standard for a heavy cruiser. It's not great, not terrible, it's just right there. 740-meter turning circle, it seems a little bit bad. And the rudder shift time is also 15 seconds, which is, I don't think it's quite as good as the Baltimore. I could be wrong. Concealment, 11.6 kilometers, not good. It's a heavy cruiser, you get seen. And when you do, you got to be careful, because unlike a lot of other cruisers, you don't get a lot of over-penetrations in your cruisers, or in your heavy cruisers, like your New Orleans, your Pensacola, even though Pensacola is laughable as a heavy cruiser, but for its tier, it's considered a heavy cruiser, I believe. But yeah, you have just enough armor to arm those armor-penetrating rounds, and that ends badly, so you got to be careful. The other thing I wanted to mention about these was the turn time of the guns. Not good. 25.9 seconds is not good for a cruiser, and you notice it too, trust me. Extended sonar. You have the range of the sonar is increased, which is nice. We already talked about that. Superior AP damage, which is nice. It's right there at the top with the Baltimore, I believe. I think my Baltimore might be a little higher, but we'll go with it. Superior HE pen, above average HE shell penetration, which is, again, like I said, this thing can do it all. It's got torps, which the Baltimore lacks. And that's one of the biggest gripes about the Baltimore, is that when you do get yourself into a sticky situation, the only way to get out of it is to shoot your way out. And that doesn't always work in your favor. Whereas with the Hipper, you can shoot your way out of it, and you have torps, and you have a lot of torps. So you've got a nice versatility to get away from a lot of potential problems. And the HE, like I said, the HE is fantastic. I will take both, and you'll see quite a bit of switching back and forth. This is one of the few ships that I switch a lot in, depending on who I'm shooting, how far away they are, what kind of damage I'm wanting to get, if I'm trying to do DOT, that sort of thing. This is a very reliable DOT ship. Anyway, a heavy cruiser that matched most ships of her type in terms of speed and the power of her armament. The ship boasted distinct advantages typical of the German Navy ships, aka advanced gunfire control system and high level of survivability. Those advantages were a result of the ship's decent armor protection, rugged construction, and her elaborate subdivision into compartments, aka flooding protection. So, like I said, this is a very versatile ship, and it's very good, and I do enjoy playing it. I just kept forgetting to play it. So, without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, now, I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting this game to end up as good as it did. And there are going to be several things that we've talked about lately in this match, and I think that you guys are going to enjoy the ever-living crap out of this, even if it's a cruiser replay. I promise it's going to be entertaining. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Now, as I've said, I've had the Hipper unlocked for quite a while. I've played it several times. I've done pretty well in it most of the times that I've been in it. But me and cruisers, we just have trouble getting over that hump of what I consider a great YouTube game, especially for Tier 7. And generally, I try to make sure that all of my meet-thus are roughly 100,000 damage or higher. And this ship is very capable of doing that in any match. But it just seems like I always end up putting myself... I'll put myself in a position where I do well, and then I get impatient, and then I get deleted. Or I do enough damage and do my thing, and then the next thing I know, I'm literally the only thing left, and there's 7 enemies still on the table. And I don't care how good you are in a cruiser, you just can't compete with that many people shooting at you. But, what have I said about this ship already? It is very versatile. This ship doesn't care about whether you shoot HE or AP. It's good with both. It's very good with both. Now, we've got the Algerie kind of pushing out, being really hyper-aggressive for a cruiser on this map. You do not want to put yourself in this position in a cruiser. I'm sorry, I don't care what cruiser it is, you cannot afford to put yourself in this position. You're spotting for your team. Oh, well that explains why he did it. He's got a smokescreen escort. Now, as far as I know, the Algerie doesn't contain a smokescreen, which means only one possible... Oh, hello. Oh, you're going really slow. Let's not lead you all the way. And... Come on, baby. Oh, still led him way too much. He's going real slow. And he's turning away from us. But that's okay, we've got a hood out there. He's angled, but remember, a hood's got very, very thin deck armor for a battleship. And yes, we already citadeled it. That is fun. I like going against hoods when they are broadside on. And speaking of citadels, we just got 2 more on the Augury. Like I said, armor piercing in this thing, very good. High explosive, also very good. Torpedoes, not the longest range in the world, but as you can see, they will get you out of a pinch, as you'll see later on. Now we've got some rounds incoming. We're going to take a few, and that hurt, but overall, not the worst. And look at our buddy in the Edinburgh. He's come over and put up a smoke screen for the 2 of us. Isn't that a nice guy? That's a nice guy. And guess what, guys? He's on PlayStation, which means we can't even talk to one another. But when you have teammates and you're in a position, maybe he did it completely selfishly. Let's just say he did. But even then, the fact that he was able to do it and shield me as well allows us to stick into the fight a lot longer than we would have been able to if we'd have kept taking rounds. Now, I had my sonar running, which is helpful for him because he's able to see the torpedoes coming. You see how that works? When one person has a smoke screen and the other one has a sonar, you can really help one another quite a bit. Now, this Benson gets spotted here. We're going to high explosive before we start pulling out of the smoke screen to get some shots on him. And we are going to absolutely riddle this guy with good high explosive. As you can see, very nasty, nasty hit. Taking out a lot of his ship. He's got a busted engine. He's got all kinds of bad things going on. He's going to fix it. Going to start going forward here. And we set a fire, which means he's going to burn for a minute. And he's still being shot at by the Edinburgh. He's got no health left. And sure enough, the Iowa actually finished him off. Now, right about now, I took a round and got very lucky that I wasn't Citadel, by the way, from the Hipper. And I start pushing towards him. This next play is going to be sexy. Sexy. Look at these torpedoes. He's like, darn it, he turned. Man, if I hadn't shot him, he'd have probably not noticed I was here. You're right. I was tunnel visioned. I didn't see him. But because he shot me, he got my attention. And now I avoided his torpedoes. He's got to turn completely around to launch his other torpedoes, right? Well, guess what? The good thing about German cruisers is they have very disgusting torpedo ability as far as the angle at which you can fire them. And watch this beautiful torp strike. He turns right into these, even though he knew that I was launching torpedoes. He was trying to outplay me, and he outplayed himself. Because I was ready for that turn. He did exactly what I expected, and because he turned the other way, guess what? We were expecting torpedoes. So we beach ourselves. And we don't get sunk. So that was as perfect a play as you can ask for the situation. And that's not me tooting my own horn. That's just, you know, the way that I've been having to play lately in cruisers and in destroyers is actually helping me so much. Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, it doesn't matter. You learn things in certain situations that help you in others. And you can use them a lot more often than you'd think. Now, right here, what did I tell you guys about the armor piercing? It's pretty good, right? But notice that we're not getting much damage out of it. So, we're going to go ahead, after we fire this salvo here, and switch over to high explosive. Why are we doing that? Why? Because the high explosive is really good too, and at this angle it's difficult to get good penetrations, let alone citadels off of him, and it just makes more sense for me to try to burn him down. Now notice on the mini-map that our destroyer is torping him right up the prop shaft. He knows it's coming, he's running from it. Unfortunately for him, he's still going to take torps up the prop shaft. You can't have a destroyer get that close and not take, you know, torpedoes. You're going to take torpedoes. But what that does is he most likely just had flooding, right? And now he's on fire. Not just from the shots that we're going to be shooting him with, but because of the teammate that also set him on fire. So now he's on fire. He could be potentially flooded. And given the amount of damage that he is taking right now, oh my god, that's an Iowa. Oh, this is sketchy. Nope. Gotta turn. Run away. Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on. Can we junk the kill? Come on. Got it. Our second kill of the game. I'll take it. By the way, who was our first kill? Did we? I think we janked the kill from the Iowa, didn't we? Is that what happened? Because we managed to get a devastating strike. Oh, wait, no. No, the devastating strike was... Okay, never mind. I have a very short memory, and I just completely screwed that up. The Hipper was our first kill, you big dummy. The one that you just said was the perfect play. You don't remember? Sorry, guys. I'm a little out of it today. But I can't imagine. But we're over 105,000 damage yet. And we're not done. I have 30,000 hit points, and I intend to use them. Unfortunately for me, I'm not going to get to use them the way I want to. But I have my eyes set on the hood. Why would I have my eyes set on the hood? And first of all, our Iowa that was on our right side with us is now broadside on in front of Iowas and a hood. That's not a good place to be. And shot in. Wait for it. Yeah. Down he goes. That's, you know, the problem with the Iowa. You go broadside, you're gonna pay. Now this hood is going to outplay himself, and I'm going to showcase patience in a cruiser for the first time in a very, very long time. I generally am super aggressive in cruisers, and that's what gets me killed more often than not. Because I am pretty decent in good heavy cruisers like the Baltimore, like the Hipper. So they are right in my wheelhouse. And the Hipper's very good at actually taking hits too. Like, even better than the Baltimore. The Baltimore is tanky, okay? But it tends to get citadeled by battleships. This thing is very, very good when it comes to battleships shooting at it. It doesn't really get citadeled that hard all the time. Like, it'll get citadel, but not nearly as bad as you think. Now, look at the hood. You see how he's changing course? He's not 100% sure he wants to come this way. He kind of feels on the back of his neck, the hair's standing up like this could be a trap. When you feel that way, trust your instinct. I promise you, it will work out in your favor more often than not. Because what he's doing is he's doing exactly the opposite of what his instinct is telling him. His instinct is like, guys, do not go around the corner. You know there was cruisers over there. They both have torpedoes. It's probably a trap. Well, you're right. It is a trap. And now you are sailing around a corner. You don't even know I'm here. And, wait for it. Oh, God, he sees it. He sees it. It's too late. He's going to take a torp. He's very lucky that he only takes one. Oh, never mind. He took two. And then we turn away, we get pretty lucky, we don't get citadeled. And while he's broadside, we get the rear gun's armor piercing away, and we citadel him. Now here, he starts turning towards me. Now it's going to be very difficult for me to citadel him if he's bow tanking me. So what do? I fire the armor piercing, and immediately, well, I say immediately, switch to high explosive. I'm on fire, but that's not a big deal. I have heals, I have the damage control. I wanted to wait until he shot me again, because I know that I can kill him with high explosive if I shoot a superstructure, and there it is. Great hit. He does get the rear guns away and does a significant amount of damage, but we managed to survive. Oh, God! The Iowa! We forgot about the Iowa! He's still there. There's a Baltimore. Oh, God. There is so much wrong right now, and, yep, there it is. Iowa does his thing. Now, I am doing a very good job today of not raging in chat until I saw this. Now, I say I didn't rage in chat. I just said I was going to report them because these two people in their division did absolutely nothing. They sat in the spawn and did nothing. They just left. I'm assuming it's because they were bottom tier. You cannot do this, guys. That is a third of our team almost. Okay, try again. It's a quarter of our team. Because there's 9 people. It's a quarter of our team, 2 battleships worth of hit points. Completely useless. And I don't call people out. I'm not about the naming and shaming. I'm not calling them out in that way. But you cannot go AFK if you get into a match, especially in a division. That's so wrong for your team. And right now, we could use those two battleships. Right now, it's just the Edinburgh versus an Iowa and a Leon. That's not going to go well. However, if you look, this is one of those few times where we have done enough as a team to overcome the deficit that we were spawned into. And by deficit, I mean the two ships that have yet to do anything for the team. So we were playing two battleships down the entire game. And we still managed to do everything we can to take everything from the enemy. We got 139,000 damage. We got 5 Citadel hits. We've got 3 kills. The Edinburgh has been right there with us the whole way, trying to do everything it can. The Iowa did a good job getting rid of the Baltimore, making sure that we had the lead. The Edinburgh, sitting in the base right now, is keeping them from getting points. So that's giving us a further lead. So even if the battleships come around the corner and kill our Edinburgh, we will still win. Because a cruiser isn't worth as much as battleships. Now, I will be honest with you. If I could talk to this Edinburgh, I would have told him, as soon as that cap flips to contested, which it, I believe, already has, get out of there. There is no benefit to you staying in there any longer. We have the lead. The only thing that's going to come of this is you're going to get shot. And potentially killed, because you're in a cruiser. It only takes one salvo from either of those battleships, and you are gone. Luckily, the Iowa is being very cautious. He knows the smoke screen's here. He's expecting torpedoes. And unfortunately, both the Iowa and the Leon are here. The smoke screen's going to be dissipating shortly, because it only lasts, what, a minute and a half? But the good news is there's only 1 minute to go. So even if the Edinburgh dies, we win. Because there is no way they're going to sink one of the King Georges before the game's over. They're only going to get one more salvo off each. They're going to get the one that they shoot, and that's it. Now he is spotted. He fires, hits the thing. Leon's salvo is disgusting, first of all. And he got extremely lucky that those 340mm guns didn't just obliterate him. Because he was angled, I thought he was dead. Now he swings around to try to get the shots, or get the torps onto the Iowa here, or at least that's what I'm assuming he's doing. And the Iowa puts shots right through the front of his ship. Luckily, didn't aim center mass, because the Iowa would have deleted him. 139,000 damage, 3 kills, top of the leaderboard, right? Yes. 2,392 XP base. Iowa coming in second with 2,200. Edinburgh didn't do as good as we thought he was doing, but still, he did enough. And we won the match. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what I'm doing, punch the like button in the face. Punch the like button in the face. I was really going to go with Jacksepticeye. No! Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.